Chapter 885. Young Haotian immediately took out a water bottle and wiped his face. He did wash quite a bit, but his hairstyle and clothes were indeed unbearable to look at. Yi Zizi stood at the door without saying a word. She wished she could suck this man to death. Alright, I've already seen her. If you have any feelings for her, just say it. Wei Chong had a look of I'm in charge. Just say whatever you want. Young Haotian was in a dilemma. Could it be that he didn't love her anymore? Wouldn't this father-in-law kill him? But how can I say it out right now? This is simply like a child. Could it be that I, Young Haotian, have to say such mushy words? You could go to jail. Yi Zizi crossed her arms in front of her chest. She really wanted to see what this man was going to say. After listening to him, she immediately killed him. Young Haotian began to ponder in his mind what kind of nonsense to use. Young Haotian suddenly raised his hair and put his hands behind his back, as if he had become a Casanova. This series of actions carried a wave of flirtatious air. Although I don't know what your name is, your figure has landed in my heart. The person standing in the void was no longer calm. This kind of person should be dragged up to be beheaded. Lai Gu snorted coldly. That's right, he actually likes minors, at least 3 years old and less than 5 years old. Tang Wei said tenderly. You even said those words to an underage girl, you are too disgusting. Zi Shan said with a look of disdain. At this moment, Yi Zizi had goosebumps all over her body. She could not help but want to kill this man. This man was purely here to disgust her. Letting others see her as a joke. How hateful. Young Haotian took a deep breath and looked at Yi Zizi affectionately, saying, the mountain has trees, and the wood has branches. My heart pleases you, but you don't know. Everyone, Yi Zizi froze and shouted, I don't understand. Speak human language. Young Haotian choked for a moment, then adjusted his attitude. Me. I like you. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun were both stunned. Wei Chong didn't expect this guy to be so good. Everyone standing in the air was shocked. These words of love were so unsophisticated, but it seemed to be very effective. Even Yi Zizi was stunned. However, this was not the end. Young Haotian rolled up his sleeve and saw that there were words carved on his arm. It was still bleeding. Although I don't know what your name is, I have given myself a name, Shuang-er. Shuang-er. Everyone was thunderstruck once again. F***ck, he even gave her an English name, and Shuang-er. F***ck. Good dick, disgusting. There's a blood stain on your arm. Did you just F***king carve it? Yi Zizi's entire body was trembling. This was not because she was moved, but because she was angry. Tonight would be a stain on his record. Kai Yun, who was standing at the side, had a love-struck look on his face. Wow, what a deeply affectionate man. He's even carved you into his arm. Yi Zizi couldn't take it anymore and slapped the air. Shameless. There was a clap. Young Haotian was sent flying and stuck on the wall, unable to be pulled out. After a long time, Young Haotian finally pulled himself out, cursing in his heart, this little girl is really fierce. Looks like I have to use my ultimate move. Young Haotian wiped the blood from his nose and shouted, you're right. I'm shameless. Everyone was very curious about what Young Haotian was going to say. Blood Demon was still filming, and it was another documentary. Ever since I saw you on the street that day, everything I did was to get close to you. Even if I know I'm going to die tonight, I still want to see you. Even if I die, it's enough for me. After saying that, Young Haotian looked at the sky at a 45 degrees angle again, as if this was the only way he could stop his tears from flowing. Suddenly, a song rang out in the sky. Sweet you smile sweetly. Who was the one who played this background music? Yi Zizi felt like she was going to explode. However, Yang Haotian seized the opportunity and said again, hit me, wake me up from this illusory dream. Yi Zizi exploded. She must hammer this man into dust. Seeing that Yi Zizi was about to explode, Yang Haotian hurriedly said, no 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 no. Don't wake me up. When everyone heard this, they were stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter. F***CK. This is AF** King Genius. Even Wei Chang was dumbfounded. Yi Zizi's fist had already appeared in between Yang Haotian's eyebrows. Yang Haotian was so scared that he immediately changed his words. Don't wake me up, just let me sleep in this dream full of love. Even if you beat me to death today, at least my body has been touched by you, and you have become my life, everyone. This kind of genius was too rare. Looking at Yi Zizi's expression, there was a hint of craziness in it. Yang Haotian looked at Yi Zizi as if asking, are you still not touched? If such words of love were said, girls would usually throw themselves into his arms and beg for his love. Yi Zizi's chest heaved up and down, and she said coldly, continue. Sweet you smile sweetly. Yi Zizi wanted to chop the person who played the background music. Yang Haotian blinked his eyes and seemed to be very confused, not knowing whether it was right or wrong. I came here to see you again. I want to use my life to tell you that I loved you. Yi Zizi's expression became especially abnormal. Yang Haotian was so scared that he hurriedly changed his words, just let us stay here quietly like this and enjoy this moment of beauty. Look how round the moon is today. Everyone looked towards the night sky, everything was pitch black. None of us move, whoever moves will be considered to have lost. Everyone felt that this fellow was not bad. Seeing that Yi Zizi was about to kill someone, he actually said such words. However, the truth was not like this. I lost, I moved first, my heart was moved, F***K. The subordinates felt that they had learned a new trick. This fellow is simply an expert at picking up girls. Or could it be that his desire to live is too strong? Be together. Be together. Be together. It was unknown who was the one who took the lead, but everyone actually started cheering. Look, even Kai Yun started cheering. Yi Zizi looked towards Yang Haotian coldly, and her fist emitted out a terrifying aura. This caused Yang Haotian to swallow his saliva. Wait. I still have something that I want to say. Say it. Yi Zizi felt that she had never been so angry before. This is a man who angered me. Schwanger, speak human language. Yang Haotian was a bit absent-minded, then said in a low voice, I have too many things that I want to say. In actuality, I left something on you. Your heart. Yi Zizi asked back coldly. You even know about this, seems like our hearts are linked. Scram. Chapter 886. Where? Yi Zizi asked in a deep voice. It's on your butt. Yang Haotian said weakly. You just need to touch my butt for a bit. Yi Zizi was speechless. Kai Yun, Wei Chang, everyone, Yi Zizi finally couldn't take it anymore and sent Yang Haotian flying with a punch. Yang Haotian turned into a shooting star in the dark night. Schwanger, I'll be back. A voice echoed in the dark night. Yi Zizi raised her head and looked at the crowd. Who the hell put that sweet honey there? The background music suddenly stopped, and everyone looked left and right. Get out of my sight. Yi Zizi flew into a rage. She turned around, walked into the house, and slammed the door shut. Kai Yun cupped his chin. Wow, I'm so blessed. Too bad it's not me. Wei Chang sighed. What a good man. Looking at the bloody blade on the ground, it was indeed carved just now. The farce ended just like that, but the imperial palace, I reckon that Yihua will definitely fly into a rage when he wakes up in the morning. On Yihua's bed, 3 lovely wives were surrounding him. Suddenly, Qing Yutong opened her eyes. It is about time. Qing Yutong could be seen sneakily getting down from the bed, then taking her own clothes, she walked out just like a thief. Yihua, who was in a deep sleep, opened his eyes, and a light smile could be seen on the corner of his mouth. This Yutong, I shall just go out and play with her, lest she gets bored in the imperial palace. Qing Yutong thought that she would be able to deceive Yihua. After putting on her clothes, Qing Yutong pushed open the door, and Daji was standing outside. Madam. Shoo, Qing Yutong said in a low voice. Daji, be quiet. I'm going out. Daji was confused for a moment and nodded. Qing Yutong stretched out her hand and pinched Daji's face. Wait for me to come back, let's have a good chat. A bright red immediately appeared on Daji's beautiful face. Qing Yutong, this old hooligan. However, when Qing Yutong turned her head and looked towards the imperial palace, the corner of her mouth twitched. Did a big battle happen? If brother-in-law saw this, his back would go numb. Hurry up and leave, otherwise brother-in-law will take it out on me. Qing Yutong immediately rushed to the appointed location. Yi Zizi, Brett, Kai Yun, and Yu Hua had already arrived. Qing Yutong arrived late. Your wife. The 4 of them still had to address her respectfully. Don't call me your wife, we are already friends outside. Qing Yutong was rather carefree. Suddenly, Qing Yutong discovered that Yi Zizi's complexion didn't seem to be very good. Zizi, what happened to you? Qing Yutong pinched onto Yi Zizi's cheek. Other than Yi Hua, the only other person who would dare to pinch Yi Zizi's cheeks would be Qing Yutong. Qing Yutong and Yi Zizi were very familiar with each other, and they were even more familiar with each other than Qing Ye and Dong Wang Baiji. After all, Qing Yutong and Yi Zizi had slept together for 5 years, played games together, and messed around together. Kai Yun said with an envious expression, you don't know, but last night, there was a man who ran into the imperial palace without a care for his life to confess to Zizi. Ah! There's such a thing. Why didn't you call me over to watch the show? Following what Qing Yutong said, Yi Zizi kicked Qing Yutong petulantly. You are too disgusting, I didn't sleep well last night. Yu Hua chuckled. How is it disgusting? He's just expressing his deep feelings, okay? My God, the imperial palace has become like that, could it be that? Qing Yutong cried out in surprise. Brett nodded his head. Let's hurry up and leave, if brother-in-law gets angry, none of us will be able to escape. Qing Yutong hurriedly said. Everyone felt that what Qing Yutong said was reasonable. The imperial palace has already become like that, his honor will definitely get angry. Let's just let other people take the blame for this. The troublemaking team immediately ran out of Wushu Empire. As for where to go, they decided to go to the south to play. Because there was his honor in the north, there was no need for them to cause trouble in the north. The night dispersed, and dawn arrived. Wushu Empire welcomed a new day, and residents began to emerge on the streets. All of them were filled with happiness. If a public opinion poll were to be done, the happiness index of the people living in Wushu Empire would definitely be full, because there was no need to worry about safety at all. In Kangluo continent, safety was more important than anything else. On Yihua's bed. Where's Yutong? Following Qing Ye's cry of surprise, Yihua and Dong Huang Baiji both woke up. Yihua naturally covered for his sister-in-law. I don't know, she even pushed my butt yesterday night. Yihua said with a light smile. This time, I don't know when Yutong will come back, it seems like there isn't a lot of happiness. Dong Huang Baiji cried out in surprise, Qing Ye, Yutong couldn't have left with Zizi and the others, right? This is bad. Qing Ye stood up and hurriedly wore her clothes. Yihua said faintly, she left early in the morning, you won't be able to catch up to her now. Qinya looked towards Yihua confusedly, you know that Yutong left. And then why didn't you stop her? Qinya was also worried about her little sister's safety. Yihua pulled Qinya into his embrace and said lightly, Yutong is already an adult, it would be good for her to go out and have a walk. Furthermore, with Yi Zizi and Brett around, what can possibly happen to her? You can be at ease. It's not like that, Yutong just likes to mess around. Yihua laughed, if she messes around, so be it. Even if she pokes a hole in the sky, I will still be able to add to it. Donghuang Baiji felt jealous, I am jealous, then, I will have to properly console the two empresses. Go, wake up. Qinya and Donghuang Baiji hurriedly got up, not giving Yihua a chance to wake up. Yihua was just joking around. Under the help of Qinya and Donghuang Baiji, he put on the emperor robe and walked out of the bedroom. Then, Yihua became dumbfounded. Qinya and Donghuang Baiji who were following behind Yihua were puzzled. When they saw the palace in front of them, they became dumbfounded as well. Daji who was at the side slightly lowered her head. She could clearly feel that her master's anger was rising. Who is it? Who is causing destruction in my palace? Yihua questioned coldly. Daji said respectfully, Master, a person barged in last night, and all of Master's subordinates are trying to stop him. A person. He came to barge into my palace. And he even made it look like this. Meeting. Qinya and Donghuang Baiji felt dizzy. I just had a meeting yesterday, and yet, I have another meeting today. After a while, Yihua sat on the throne, Qinya and Donghuang Baiji sat on the two sides, and Daji stood at the side to serve him. Below the throne, Yihua's subordinates were all shivering. I heard that a person barged in last night. And you guys are still trying to stop him? Yihua questioned. A person. You guys are a group of people. And you guys even made it look like this. I'm afraid that you guys are going easy on me. Wei Chang took a step forward and said respectfully, Your Honor, there was indeed a person who barged in last night, but, before Wei Chang could finish speaking, Yihua questioned gravely, who is involved? Take a step forward. Just like Dou Fusher, he had suffered losses in the past, but now he would not stand out anymore. I don't care what you say, it's best for this kind of thing to happen on the other side. Otherwise, all of you will break up and get back together for me to see. Yihua. Qinya and Donghuang Baiji didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Is there anyone who teases their subordinates like this? The subordinates felt dizzy, but those who didn't have girlfriends were fine, but those who had girlfriends all had bitter expressions. Today, I finally learned one thing. If I don't tell His Honor about something good, the consequences will be very serious. His Honor will make you break up with me anytime. Breaking up was considered a light punishment. In the past, the inhumane Yihua would be directly killed. Alright, I, the Supreme Overlord, would like to see the Imperial Palace return to its original state by noon. Recently, the main focus of my work should be placed on the harmony between humans and outsiders. Mu Ran has already started making plans, and when the time comes, I, the Supreme Overlord, will need actors to act as the main lead for the outsiders. Right now, Yihua was not going to let go of any interesting things. At that time, I will let Death Mage play the role of a bad person, and I will play the role of a good person, saving the humans in the abyss of suffering. This seems to be quite interesting. Subordinate obeys. Meeting dismissed. Yes. After giving out the important instructions, Yihua decided to eat a soup dumpling to calm himself down, then drink a bowl of kelp soup. Wow, this is simply too comfortable. Next, I will have to wait for Mu Ran's script. Seems like this year's Best Screenplay Award is going to be given to Mu Ran. Don't look at how small Muran is, her brain is filled with a lot of things. Of course, there was also Yizizi and Yutong's script. The bigger the commotion that they create, the better. In the next few days, a rumor appeared in the entire northern part of Kangluo continent. That rumor was that Yuanyang Manor was destroyed. The main point was that Yuanyang Manor was destroyed by an empire. After this rumor spread out, a lot of people didn't believe it. The manor lord of Yuanyang Manor is a Dozun. How is it possible for him to be destroyed by an empire? Everyone felt that this rumor was just a joke, but the truth proved that Yuanyang Manor was indeed empty. Furthermore, there were even rumors that Yuanyang Manor's Shuri had fallen. When many things were added together, many people began to have doubts. However, they still didn't believe it. Because no matter how powerful an empire is, it is impossible for them to be a match for Yuanyang Manor and Viper Sect. Do you think that Dozun and Dodi are vegetarians? All of them are ruthless characters, existences that are able to destroy an empire with a single finger. Although they didn't believe it, the words Wushu Empire had already been imprinted in everyone's heart. There were even a lot of people who planned to go to northern Liangland to take a look and see if this Wushu Empire is as formidable as the rumors say. Right now, the troublemaking team was facing a problem. Don't stop me. I want to kill this slut. He has completely lost all of his face. Yizizi could be seen struggling crazily. Kai Yun and Qing Yutong each grabbed onto one side of Yizizi, holding onto the furious Yizizi. Not far away from the five of them, Yang Haotian was squatting on the ground with a pitiful look on his face. His eyes were staring at Yizizi's butt. That red packet is right in front of me, but I just can't get it. This kind of situation caused Yang Haotian to even have the heart to want to die. Qing Yutong originally didn't know about it, but after hearing about it from Kai Yun, she immediately laughed at Yizizi for an entire day, causing Yizizi to feel terrible. This is a stain in my life. Who the fuck would place his heart on someone else's butt? He is simply shameless. Zizi, he is deeply in love with you, just give him a chance. In the end, Qing Yutong still couldn't help but laugh loudly. It was the first time that I saw Yizizi acting like this. I was too happy. Kai Yun was the same as well. That's right, look at him, he has already followed us all the way here. Didn't he just want to see your asterisk? After Kai Yun finished speaking, the four women immediately laughed until they were rolling on the ground. Yang Haotian immediately rolled up his sleeves and revealed his asterisk. This caused Yizizi to flip out once again. You stinking shameless person, I will definitely kill you today. Shuang my heart has already fallen on your body. If you return it to me, I will leave. I'll return it to you, your asterisk. Yizizi couldn't help but curse. This man actually said touching my butt so openly. If you don't return it to me, I, Yang Haotian, will follow you for the rest of my life, until my body turns into ashes and fuses with this world. Chapter 888. Upon hearing Yang Haotian's words of love, Qing Yutong's scalp couldn't help but go numb. Even brother-in-law has never said such words before. This is too mushy. All right. I will let you fuse with this world right now. Yizizi's twin ponytails immediately rushed toward Yang Haotian. I must definitely suck this man to death. I reckon that his honor should already know about my matter right now, and he will definitely be laughing out loud, and those people, it was all because of this bastard. Seeing Yizizi's hair suddenly growing longer, Yang Haotian was also scared witless, but he didn't leave. He even knelt on the ground with a thud. Even if you can kill me, you can't kill my soul. My soul will be immersed in this love, unable to extricate itself. Qing Yutong, Kai Yun, Brett, Yu Hua. However, Kai Yun's face was indeed filled with little stars. What touching words of love. If you said it to me, I would definitely agree. Yu Hua said gently, Banner Master, you can't trust a man's words. Then why did you believe in Lai Gu? Kai Yun didn't believe in Lai Gu and refuted. That's why I only found out about it now. So that's the case. Then, Yu Hua, you should divorce Lai Gu and be together with me. Yu Hua, Qin Yutong hugged onto Yi Zizi. Forget it, don't get angry, how big of a matter is this? Isn't it just a man who is infatuated with you, and you want to kill him? I don't want to play with you anymore. You only know how to laugh at me. Yi Zizi stomped her feet and sat down angrily. Brett slowly sat to the side and lightly said, women, in the end, must have a home. Old woman, I am not a woman. Yi Zizi tenderly snorted and turned around. That's true. Women aren't as flat as you. Brett. What are you talking about? Do you want to fight? Yi Zizi immediately stood up and shouted at Brett. Brett chuckled. I'm not afraid of you. Qin Yutong hurriedly ran over to stop the fight. What's wrong with the two of you, to actually want to fight just because you don't agree with each other? If brother-in-law were to see this, he would definitely scold the two of you. Humph. Yi Zizi and Brett didn't have a good relationship, and they often complained about each other. Yi Zizi called Brett an old woman, while Brett called Yi Zizi a flat-chested girl. The two of them had been quarreling for at least 1,000 years. At this moment, Kai Yun lowered his head and looked at Yu Hua's. He immediately fell silent. He comforted himself by telling himself that it was because he was not fully developed yet. However, after developing for more than 10,000 years, it still hasn't finished developing. You over there, come over for a moment. Qin Yutong shouted towards Yang Haotian, who was not far away. Yang Haotian, who was crazy about getting the red packet, immediately stood up and ran over. His eyes kept glancing at Yi Zizi's, but from time to time. Yang Haotian said in a low voice, fearing that he would be punched to death by Yi Zizi. What Qin Yutong needed right now was the information about the South, and adding on that this person was the Emperor, he should know a lot of things. Who is the most impressive person in the South? Qin Yutong asked curiously, seemingly intending to go and find those impressive people. If we are to talk about the most impressive existences in the South, then it should be Meridian Break Sect and Shin Academy. Qin Yutong had naturally heard of them before. Ali and the others were sent to these two sects to learn. Since I have already come to the South, I will go and see how they are doing. Other than these two, what else is there that is impressive? Qin Yutong asked again. If one wants to do something, one must choose a good person. Yang Haotian was puzzled. Just what are these 5 women planning to do? Could it be that they are planning to challenge the sects? They are directly going to challenge the Meridian Break Sect and Shin Academy. There are overlords there. If one is not careful, one will die. Other than these two, the South is basically the same as the North. There are a lot of powers that are scattered all over the South. After listening to Yang Haotian's words, Qin Yutong paused for a moment, then said, You can leave first, we have matters to discuss. Alright, if there is anything you need, just call me. Yang Haotian decided. If I want to get a red packet, I have to first take care of my sisters. If the Air sisters served them well, they would have a chance to get their own red packets. Chapter 889. Translation: The red packet on that little butt is simply too tempting, my future is on that little butt. After Yang Haotian left, Qin Yutong said, What do we do? Among these 5 women, Qin Yutong's identity was right there. After all, she was your wife. Although Qin Yutong did not allow them to address her as their wife, they still had to respect her. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun basically would not consider this problem, they would just kill them once they caught them. The only ones that could be discussed were the other 3. Yu Hua said softly, I think, how about we talk about it after we get there first? Then what are we going to do? Directly rush into other people's sect and kill them? Brett laughed lightly. If that was really the case, I can settle everything by myself with my bow. Qin Yutong shook her head. This is too simple, there is not much fun in it. If we are going to play, then let's play big. How big? Kai Yun asked curiously. Even Yi Zizi, who was angry, also looked towards Qin Yutong curiously. Let me think about it first. Qin Yutong also did not know how to play. Thinking back to when they were in Ing family, they just let nature take its course. Upon thinking back to when they were in Ing family, Qin Yutong's eyes lit up. Zizi, do you still remember how we were kidnapped into Ing family? A strange smile appeared on Yi Zizi's face, then she looked towards Brett, Yu Hua, and the others. Being looked at by Yi Zizi like that, everyone felt uncomfortable. Yang Haotian, come over. Qin Yutong waved her hand. Yang Haotian, who was squatting at the side and drawing circles, ran over eagerly. Where did he look like an emperor? He looked more like a little follower. Boss, what's the matter? Yang Haotian even directly changed the way he addressed Yu Hua. I heard that there is a water city at the intersection of the north and south. Qin Yutong also unintentionally heard it in the city. Hearing the water city, Yang Haotian paused for a moment, then said, Boss, we can directly go there from the sky, there is no need to go to the water city. Are you very afraid of this water city? Qin Yutong asked curiously. Boss, this water city is an intermediary that separates the north and south. I heard that there are 3 great clans inside, and they are extremely powerful. If the strongest on the continent are the Broken Meridian sect and the Deity Academy, then the 3 great clans in Water City are the same. Their clan leaders are all supreme beings. There is no need for us to go there. Yang Haotian really didn't want to go to that damned place. He could just fly over the water. No one would care. Even if he went by boat, no one would care. But if you force your way into Water City, you're done for. Qin Yutong suddenly revealed out a smile. Let's go to Water City. It seemed that Kai Yun's mating season had arrived. Yang Haotian approached the 5 beauties with a strange smile on his face. Qinya and the others shouted together, Save us! Save us! Scream all you want. Make me excited. Although Yang Haotian said this, he was actually getting closer to Yi Zizi. In any case, he was just putting on an act. Secretly touching her should be fine. Just when Yang Haotian thought he was about to get his way, splash, splash, splash. The sound of 3 splashing rang out in everyone's ears. There were now 3 more people on the deck. The one in the lead was a man wearing dragon-scale armor. His facial features were excellent, his skin was fair, and his gaze was deep. He was commonly referred to as a handsome guy. The 2 behind him were obviously his guards. Audacious madman. You're doing it in broad daylight. You're actually committing a lewd act in the sea of innocence. You deserve death. The man pulled out the sword at his waist and pointed it at Yang Haotian. Yang Haotian even had the urge to curse out. Can't you appear a bit later? Can't you see that I have already made my move? Meanwhile, the 5 beauties were dazed for a moment. This line really will never change, it's too vulgar. However, at the very least, it's a good start. Hero, save us! Qin Yutong shouted out. Following Qin Yutong's words, the man turned his head around and looked over. Then, he became stupefied, as if his body was frozen. Pai Pai's entire brain was buzzing. Such beautiful women. How can they be so beautiful? They are more than 10,000 times more beautiful than the women in Water City. These are the most beautiful women I have ever seen. My God, what if I don't get to see them in the future? Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. Yen. Chapter 890. Omega 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 choking with sobs. Novel. Just as Pippi was in a daze, Yang Haotian snatched the sword from his hand and placed it across Pippi's neck. Qin Yutong and the others were stupefied. Was there such a scene in the script? How dare you snatch someone else's sword? How do you want others to lose face? You're simply too careless. Impudent. The two guards standing behind Pai Pai shouted. F***ck off, I'm having fun. You bunch of blind fools, how dare you disturb my fun? Yang Haotian was very angry. He was so close to getting the red packet. Then, he wouldn't have to risk his life with them. It's all your fault, you bastard, for appearing just in time. Her skin was not messed up at all, but she was actually a little unhappy in her heart. She was shocked by their beauty just now, so this person took advantage of her weakness. He was simply losing face in front of a beauty. Put down the sword in your hand. Do you know who I am? Pai Pai shouted coldly. I don't **king care who you are. Kneel down. Qin Yutong really wanted to give him a kick. Are you crazy or what? I just want to go in. Aren't you **king adding to the show? You're just a cameo, the kind that gets a lunch box. How dare you make me kneel? I am the son of Water City's House Pai, Pai Pai. Following Pippi's words. The five delicate beauties were obviously a little surprised. Pippi. You're really mischievous. You're obviously here to save people, but your weapon was snatched away, and you're even being held against your neck. Could someone else be the hero to save the damsel in distress? This guy couldn't be provoked. Yang Haotian woke up a little. F***ck. What am I doing? Why did I steal his weapon and place it on his neck? That wasn't how the script was written. It was mainly because he was too angry just now. He almost got it. But now. He pointed his sword at the son of House Pai. He was done for. It was all this group of women's fault, asking him to risk his life for no reason. What should I do? I'm asking you what to do. Yang Haotian stole a glance at Qin Yutong, and seemed to be asking, how should I act after writing it down? Qin Yutong was already speechless. What are you looking at me for? You added the scene yourself, settle it yourself. Yang Haotian was nervous. He had offended the son of House Pai. The nervous Yang Haotian's hands trembled a little. The sharp blade directly cut through the skin, causing blood to flow out. Yang Haotian was stunned, and so was Leather. The five beauties were also stunned. Qin Yutong was already speechless. Just what are you trying to do this time? Yang Haotian looked at Pippi, and Pippi looked back at Yang Haotian. The two men looked at each other affectionately. Yes. Yang Haotian prepared to apologize. However, before Yang Haotian could finish, Pai Pai shouted angrily, you have guts. House Pai won't forgive you. With that, he knelt down with a thud. Despair, deep despair. Yang Haotian really wanted to cry. Big brother, please get up. I will kneel for you. If you kneel for me, I will feel dizzy. Qin Yutong and the others were also feeling dizzy. Why did you kneel just like that? Didn't you say that Water City is very powerful? Why is it so powerful? The two guards yelled, House Pai won't let you go. After saying that, he also knelt down. Yang Haotian had never seen someone threaten people like this. He knelt right after saying that, not giving him any chance to explain at all. You guys are too shameless, trying to frame me. Yang Haotian secretly looked at Qin Yutong. What should I do? Qin Yutong threw a glance at him. You can do whatever you want. Hero. Why do you have to kneel for him? He is a pervert. Kai Yun asked in confusion. Didn't he just threaten you a little? Pippi looked at Kai Yun. Such a cute girl. But to lose face in front of such a cute girl, it was really a stain on life. This girl, Neil. Not scary. Death is the scariest. Young Haotian, the 5 women were all stunned. Fuck. You're the only one who can talk about kneeling in such a dignified manner. You actually can't find any rebuttal. As expected, you are very mischievous. Is everyone in House Pie so mischievous? Pippi said seriously again, my father taught me that as a man, you must be able to kneel. One day, you will be able to stand up. Big brother, you seem to have misunderstood what your father said. He was only making an example, he did not really want you to kneel. My God, how can there be such a naive person? My mother also taught me, when a sword is pressed against my throat, I must not try to struggle, I must know how to be observant and act according to the situation. Everyone, your acting according to the situation is to use your mother's words to trap your father's words. Kneel. Outstanding. Yang Haotian felt that he was already outstanding enough, but when he saw this Pippi, he decided to give this outstanding to him. Actually, this young Master Pippi, we seem to have some misunderstanding. Yang Haotian felt that something was wrong, so he had to make it clear. Pippi snorted coldly, we will not have any misunderstanding. How about we stand up first? Yang Haotian said earnestly. Big brother, don't be like this. Pippi said in disdain, if you want me to kneel, I will kneel. If you want me to stand, I will stand. Wouldn't I, Pippi, have no face? Big brother, you already have no face right now. Yang Haotian wanted to cry in his heart, this is truly too stubborn. Hero, he asked you to stand up, hurry up and stand up. Qin Yutong hurriedly shouted out, bring out your heroic spirit. Pippi felt that his image was already gone, so he shook his head, today, I am unable to save the ladies, it is I, Pippi, who is incompetent, I, Pippi, am willing to die as an apology. Don't say any more. I will return the sword to you, if you continue to point at me. Yang Haotian could not take it anymore, and immediately threw the sword onto the ground. However, Pippi sneered, I, the son of Pi family, do not accept the kindness of the enemy. Everyone, do not accept. My God, why don't you accept it? Brett felt that his view of the world had been refreshed, what a weirdo, mischievous to death. Then can I kneel in front of you? I beg you to accept it, okay? Yang Haotian felt Yizizi's killing intent, and immediately kneeled towards Pippi. The 2 men kneeled towards each other. Why does it feel like they are going through the ceremony of marriage, the part where the husband and wife bow to each other? Hero, hurry up and take out the sword, our lives are all in your hands. Yu Hua was anxious, and shouted towards Pippi, she had never seen such an upright and plain-spoken person before. However, Pippi still did not take out the sword in his hand, and even said proudly, I, the son of Pi family, even if I have to kneel and die, I will not fall for the tricks of vile people. Miss, I am sorry. Yu Hua really wanted to take out the sword and cut open this Pippi's brain, just what is inside, bubbles. However, Yang Haotian said in surprise, Big brother, what kind of scheme did I use? Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertising words. Chapter 891. Omega choking with sobs. Novel, you smeared poison on the blade. Do you think I don't know? Pi had a look of I knew it all along on his face. Don't think I'll believe you just because you're like this, unless you lick me. Hearing Pippi's words, the 5 women's jaws almost dropped to the ground. Was this Water City's IQ? Couldn't he be more serious? Yang Haotian was very angry, why did this guy not believe him? Then I'll give you another bite. Yang Haotian picked up the sword. The 5 women, if you dare to lick it once, I'll admit it. Pippi said in a low voice. All right. I'll show you. Zillia, this young Haotian was really disgusting. It was as if he was eating skewers. Was there a need to lick him from top to bottom? Was he being too serious? This should be enough, right? Yang Haotian said indignantly. I, a Dozun, have already licked him. If you still don't believe me, I will open the ladle for you. Pippi suddenly nodded. Yes, I believe in your sincerity. As soon as he said this, Yang Haotian suddenly had a bad feeling and retreated. Qin Yutong and the others were also a little confused. What is going on? Yang Haotian's face turned green. He pointed at the blade on the ground and said, "It's poisonous." Pippi smiled proudly and picked up the sword beside him. He stood up and said, "My father also said that a man should use his brain to defeat his opponent. You cheated." Yang Haotian felt his body stiffening. This was probably a hard poison. Yang Haotian sheathed his sword and chuckled. My mother once said that the winner is king and the loser is a bandit. You can only blame yourself for being too stupid. You. Qin Yutong and the others also didn't expect that after going in such a big circle, he would suddenly make a counterattack. Is this leather horse really smart, or is he pretending to be smart? Yang Haotian's body was already stiff, and he was even looking at Qin Yutong with a pleading gaze. Boss, save me. Qin Yutong directly ignored it, and finally entered into the normal storyline mode. Hero, thank you for saving us, if not, we would have been tainted by this bastard. Qin Yutong said with incomparable gratefulness. When Pippi heard this voice, he felt as if the world had become clear. It was as if the person who had just knelt down wasn't him. Perhaps what he did was not embarrassing himself at all. It was all normal operations. You don't have to be so polite. I, Leather, was just helping out when I saw injustice on the road. I'm sorry to have startled you. Leather appeared to be very polite. He even bowed to express his apology in a gentlemanly manner. Yuhua felt that she had to say something as well. Hero, I have no way to repay you. When Pippi heard this, he became excited. After all, the latter part of this sentence was very tempting. Usually, they would devote their lives to him. This woman was really beautiful. Her skin was so white, even whiter than the women in Water City. How did she maintain her skin? If you really want to marry him, I, House Pie's son, wouldn't mind. I can only thank you for saving my life. Of course, Yuhua wouldn't say those words. She already had a husband, it was just an act. Pippi looked disappointed. This was not what he wanted to hear, but he still said, Miss, you are too polite. It was nothing. After saying this, Pippi didn't know what else to say. He could only signal his guards to capture this perverted thief. Although Yang Haotian's body was stiff, he could still speak. You guys save me. At least I bought clothes for you guys. Yang Haotian was very depressed. If I am captured and brought to Water City, I will be done for. At this time, Brett suddenly said, Hero, can you bring us ashore? After hearing that, Pippi was a little depressed. At any rate, I am your savior. Miss, do you want to stay and have a meal with us? Pippi invited. Qin Yutong let out a breath of relief. Fortunately, Brett knows how to speak. That's not good. This man also said the same thing at the start, but he tricked us into coming here. What if you are the same? Kai Yun pouted and said. That cute look really made people want to commit a crime. Pippi patted his chest and shouted, How can the son of House Pie be the same as this kind of animal? You guys can rest assured. Yang Haotian even had the heart to die. I am an emperor. An emperor who has a red packet system. How did I become an animal? This is all their scheme. This is simply a huge loss, a huge loss. Not only did I not get the red packet, I even have to bear the name of this animal. The 5 women did not immediately agree, and a fearful look appeared on their faces. Pippi felt that it was natural. After being tricked once, they would definitely be on guard. Our water city's scenery is exceptionally beautiful, you guys will definitely like it. Pippi said again. Zizi asked curiously, really? Of course it's true. You guys can ride on a seahorse and travel around the underwater world. Pippi decided to break through from Zizi. Little girls are easy to trick. Zizi pulled onto Qing Yutong's sleeve. Big sister, how about we go and take a look? Qing Yutong still had a hesitant look on her face. Miss, I, the son of House Pai, can definitely guarantee your safety. Then let's go and take a look. Yuhua also said softly, with a trace of embarrassment. Seeing that there was hope, Pippi hurriedly said, My House Pai is one of the 3 big families in Water City, you guys don't have to be afraid. Alright then, if you dare to do that to us, we won't let you off even if we become ghosts. Qing Yutong warned, but she did not have the slightest bit of strength. However, Pippi liked this kind of girl. Although she did not have any strength, she had her own persistence. Compared to those girls who threw themselves at him, she was much better. Seeing that the beautiful girls had agreed, Pippi became happy in his heart. He immediately turned his head and shouted, Throw this person into the prison and await punishment. I'm being wrongly accused. Save me. Yang Haotian was in despair, then was brought into the water by 2 guards. Girls, you guys will definitely like Water City. Yang Haotian said with a slight smile. He stretched out his hand and waved it lightly. Qing Yutong and the others immediately felt a surge of power on their bodies. Pippi explained, This magic can allow you guys to breathe freely underwater. Qing Yutong nodded her head. Pippi whistled towards the surface of the sea. Not long after, the surface of the sea began to churn, and a huge turtle could be seen floating on the surface of the sea. Girls, don't be afraid, please follow me. Pippi said with a slight smile. He was a sunny young man, if he did not kneel down just now, he would indeed be very handsome. The 5 of them stood on the back of the turtle, and gradually sank into the water. To be honest, Qing Yutong and the others were a bit curious about the underwater world. They had never come into contact with it before. This time, on one hand, they were here to cause trouble, on the other hand, they were here to take a look at the underwater world. As the huge turtle dived, everyone did not feel any discomfort. On the other hand, the surrounding scenery was very attractive. Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertisement. Chapter 892. Omega 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 choking with sobs. Novel. There were a lot of creatures under the water, and they were also very peculiar, causing Qing Yutong and the others to exclaim in admiration. This place was much more beautiful than the animal world. The creatures also began to grow in size. There were iron-head fish that were hundreds of feet long, and there were even ferocious beasts that were hundreds of feet long. However, when they saw the skin, they avoided it. Their ferocious appearance was quite frightening. Apart from the enormous vicious beasts, there were also many cute little creatures that emitted all kinds of light, illuminating the dark seabed. It was truly beautiful. However, everyone was still diving down, and their speed was not very fast. This was done on purpose to let these beauties enjoy the scenery, and when the time came, they would not be able to leave. Why is there a layer of clouds down here? Kai Yun asked curiously. Not far below, there was a layer of cloud-like thing floating. Pippi carefully explained, after passing through this barrier, we will reach Water City. So this mist is a barrier, no wonder. As the giant tortoise pierced through the clouds, a dazzling world appeared before everyone's eyes. This. Qing Yutong muttered. Yuhua and Brett were also a little confused, while Kai Yun and Yizizi had joyous expressions on their faces. The entire city was glowing brightly, and countless underwater creatures were shuttling back and forth. Was that building serious? The style of the building was completely out of tune with the outside world. Are you curious about the architecture here? Pippi smiled. That's right, why are the buildings here so strange? Qing Yutong asked curiously. Pippi stood with his hands clasped behind his back and said in a low voice, "We have to start from our ancestors. It's a long story. In any case, they were the ones who did it." After hearing that, Qing Yutong had a thought. Their ancestors definitely came from another world, because the buildings in this place had a kind of advanced design, just like the future. Especially that hourglass-like building, this kind of design is not something that an ordinary person would be able to think of. Hero, how big is this water city? Yuhua asked curiously. That includes the entire Sea of Innocence. Wouldn't that mean that it would be bigger than any other power? Bigger than even Wushu Empire? The giant tortoise floated above the city. After the 5 of them came down, a guard brought 5 seahorses over. This seahorse was quite cute, and it gave off a faint golden glow. The 5 women immediately rode on it, feeling that it was very novel. Leather led the way in front, causing the surrounding people to be extremely curious. Wow, look! General Pai actually brought. He brought such a beautiful woman into the city. Yeah, these 5 women are so beautiful. The older ones are beautiful and the younger ones are cute. General Pai is really lucky this time. Of course, Pippi also heard the envious voices around him. He felt a little proud in his heart. Bringing such a beautiful woman with him would give him face wherever he went. Qing Yutong nudged against Brett, who was at the side, then looked at the things on the city wall. Canon Brett also felt that it was similar. Although his appearance had changed, he still gave off a sense of deterrence. Hero, what is that on top of the city wall? Qing Yutong asked curiously. Oh, that is called a star cannon. Even a Dozun has to be careful. Speaking of this, Pippi felt proud. As a member of Water City, he felt a sense of accomplishment. Is it that powerful? Kai Yin asked curiously, as if he wanted to test out its might. Pippi smiled proudly. Of course, this is something left behind by the ancestors of Water City. Qing Yutong dared to guarantee that the ancestors of this Water City definitely came from another world. However, why did they not go to the land and instead came to the water? This made them curious. After passing through the city gate made of crystal, there was basically no passageway here. All the passageways were made by creatures sitting on the water. Brett felt that this place was very similar to Blue Blaze Star, at least the pattern was very similar. The passageway is below. Pippi seemed to know the doubts of the 5 women and said casually. Qing Yutong looked down. Indeed. However, the 5 women discovered that this city had a festive atmosphere, as if some kind of celebration was being held. Hero, why is there a red cloth hanging on every house? Yuhua asked curiously. Oh, Bao family is looking for a son-in-law. Pippi said indifferently. It seemed like he did not have a good impression of this Bao family. Bao family? Yizizi asked curiously. This Bao family is also one of the 3 big families of Water City. There is also a Kong family. Qing Yutong and the others finally understood. Pai, Bao, and Kong family controlled the entire Water City. How can they cause trouble like that? It seems like they can only use their looks to cause trouble. Pippi had his own mansion, which was very luxurious. It seems like Pippi's position in Pai family was not low. At the very least, he was a powerful existence among the younger generation. 5 ladies, do you want to take a rest first? Take a rest. Take a rest my ass, we are here to cause trouble. If we are going to take a rest, what kind of trouble is there to cause? No need, hero, your mansion looks very big. Kai Yun ran around, appearing very happy. Yu Hua followed behind him and took care of Kai Yun. Don't call me hero, I really don't dare to, just call me Pippi will do. However, just after Pippi finished speaking, two figures descended from the sky. Third brother, I heard that you brought back 5 beauties. As your big brothers, I immediately came over to check on you. The two men looked very similar to Pippi, just that the smile on their faces was a bit bad, as if they were suppressing someone. The one who spoke just now was the second brother, Pai Guanghui, and the one who stood at the side was the eldest brother, Pai Qing. Fortunately, Qing Yutong did not go to rest just now, otherwise, she would have missed this opportunity. And when Pai Qing and Pai Guanghui saw Qing Yutong and the others, both of them revealed a shocked expression. As expected, they are very beautiful, it is really impossible to describe with words. How did third brother manage to meet these kind of women, and even brought all of them home? Do you really not know how many to give to your big brothers? Are you able to handle all 5 of them together? Pippi looked at his big brother and second brother, and the smile that was originally on his face instantly disappeared. These two had always been making fun of him since he was young, although it was just a small matter, he was still very unhappy about it, and would often complain about it in front of his father and mother. Big brother, second brother. But no matter how much he disliked them, he still had to call them, this was a matter of etiquette. Third brother, aren't you going to introduce them to us? Big brother Pai Qing said with a slight smile, showing that he was very well behaved. But as long as one knew Pai family's eldest young master and second young master, they were nothing more than 2 playboys. Pippi said with a slight smile, these 5 ladies are my third brother's guests. So they are guests, I thought they were third brother's beauties. Pai Guanghui laughed, then walked into the house with Pai Qing. Observing them from a close distance, they are even more beautiful. This third brother's luck is really good, to be able to encounter such a thing while he was out patrolling. If I had known earlier, I would have also gone to try my luck with beauties. Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertisement. Ladies, please, Pai Qing said with a frivolous smile. He seemed to be very polite. However, the viciousness in his words was not revealed. Qing Yutong and the others also did not refuse, and went to take a look at what that Bao family was like. The sea dragon carriages outside were all ready. It seemed like they had come prepared. Qing Yutong and the others got on the carriage, and the 3 brothers rode on the seahorse at the front. At this time, Yuhua whispered, Yang Haotian won't be killed, right? Yuhua, you can rest assured. That Yang Haotian is at the very least a dozun. How can he be killed so easily? Kai Yun was very reassured. When the time came to leave, he would go and rescue Yang Haotian from prison. Thinking of this, Kai Yun suddenly had an idea, and then he waved his hand. Aren't the people of this water city not allowed to go ashore? How about we get them ashore? Kai Yun suggested in a low voice. That was a good idea. How do we get them ashore? Yi Zizi asked in a low voice. Kill them. Brett said calmly. Qing Yutong and Yuehua nodded. Only hatred could force the people of Water City out. The troublemaking team began to concoct a plan. How should they draw this hatred? The Bao family was relatively far away. However, in one of the Bao family's rooms, a man wearing a red groom's attire sat at a table, his face brimming with smiles. In truth, this man could be considered an old acquaintance. Qi Shuwen, who possessed the divine dragon system. A few months ago, Qi Shuwen hadn't been in Water City. However, he needed a vast sea to eat, so he came to the Sea of Innocence. By a freak combination of factors, he ended up in Water City. Then, a traditional hero came to save the Bao family's eldest daughter, Abalone Yu. In the beginning, Qi Shuwen didn't think much of it. Although she was a rare beauty, Qi Shuwen's focus was still on cultivation and gathering draconic qi. However, Abalone Yu took a fancy to Qi Shuwen. She followed him around every day, and gradually, Qi Shuwen figured out Abalone Yu's background. She was actually the daughter of one of the three great clans of Water City, the Bao family. Furthermore, she was the eldest daughter. If he didn't take advantage of such a resource, he'd be a huge idiot. Water City was simply too rich in resources. It was practically built for him. He could hide here and quietly become a supreme. When the time came, he could summon clouds and rain with a flip of his hand. How wonderful would that be? Qi Shuwen pushed open the door and walked out onto the balcony. This was the tallest building in the entire region. With a single glance, he could see everything. This feeling. It was like she was holding everyone's fate in her hands. This was a feeling he'd never felt before. At that moment, Qi Shuwen couldn't help but think back to the events of the past, the North-South martial arts competition. That empress held everyone's lives in her hands. Even he was the same. If she wanted someone dead, that person would die. That feeling was exactly what he'd been yearning for. But now, Qi Shuwen spread his hands and clenched them. He was slowly beginning to master them. Looking at the entire Water City celebrating for him, he felt so good. Son-in-law, everything's ready, the maid's voice rang out from outside. Qi Shuwen took a deep breath. What's so bad about being a live-in son-in-law? As long as he got what he wanted. As long as the system was still around, there would be a day where he would achieve meteoric success. Walking out of the room, Qi Shuwen revealed a brilliant smile. This smile came from the bottom of his heart. Everything that he had today was not easy to come by. Water City's wedding didn't have that many customs, and it even had a hint of being ahead of the times. All of these customs came from the old ancestor. Even Qi Shuwen felt that the old ancestor of Water City should be someone from the modern era, and not someone from the future. Looking at the way the banquet was being held, with a few hundred tables and the entire restaurant being booked, Bao family was just that awesome. At this time, Qing Yutong and the others arrived as well. However, they completely didn't know that they were going to meet their acquaintances later on. However, Qi Shuwen didn't want to see Qing Yutong and the others at all, because that would make Qi Shuwen feel that he wasn't the main character, and was only a supporting character among the main characters. Who would be willing to be a supporting character? Everyone wanted to be the main character. This Bao family is truly rich and overbearing. Pai Ching muttered. Pai Pai said indifferently, you speak as if our family doesn't have any money. Pai Guanghui patted on Pai Pai's shoulder, third brother, money is not easy to come by. As the guardian family of Water City, we have to set an example. Look at this Bao family, they are spending so much money just to hold a wedding. Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertising words. Chapter 894. But I heard that Bao family's son-in-law is quite talented. Pai Ching said faintly, he wanted to meet him. Pai Guanghui didn't think so, how strong can the son-in-law be? He's just a gigolo. Pai Pai remained silent, he didn't want to discuss this matter at all. He originally planned to eat alone with the 5 beauties, but in the end, that Abalone, she is still a beauty of our Water City, but she was actually married by an outsider, so embarrassing. Pai Guanghui pouted his mouth, if he said he didn't have any thoughts about Abalone, that would be a lie, who didn't love beauties. Pai Ching also didn't say anything. The group of people arrived at the restaurant, and it immediately caused a commotion. The 3 brothers of Pai family are here, what a rare sight. That's right, I heard that the 3 brothers don't get along, why did they appear together today? This rumor really can't be believed. Who's sitting in the car behind them? Who else can it be? It's definitely a woman. Just when everyone was guessing who was inside, Qing Yutong and the others began to walk down one after another. The surroundings became quiet. The three brothers of Pi family immediately felt that they had gained face. Look at all these men, they were all stunned by their beauty. This is what women are. That abalone is nothing, even in front of them, he still has to feel inferior. The appearance of Qing Yutong and the others indeed caused a shocking effect. They were all beauties that could cause trouble. My God! The three brothers of Pi family actually brought such a woman over. Don't ask me why, they are definitely here to cause trouble. Is there even a need to say, abalone is already a beauty, and now there is an even more beautiful one, even the bride's beauty is inferior. Where did the three brothers of Pi family find such a beauty? If it was in Water City, it would have already been spread around. Maybe it's from outside. Everyone spoke one after another, all of their gazes were on Qing Yutong and the others. There were quite a lot of gazes on Brett, after all, his body was too hot. Yu Hua was also the same, they were both mature and tall women. And some of the uncles' gazes were on Yizizi and Kai Yun, too lowless. Grabbing onto those two ponytails was like crazy. Be careful of the stairs. Pai Pai said softly. And, thank you. Yu Hua was still very polite. Seeing this, Pai Ching and Pai Guanghui also started to give instructions. This scene made everyone realize one thing, the three brothers of House Pai hadn't gotten their hands on her yet, but they thought they had. Yo! Isn't that the three brothers of House Pai? Two sea dragons surged forward, creating a wave. Two men came down from the dragon's back. Pai Ching looked on coldly. Not only Pai Ching, but also Pai Guanghui and Pai Bu. These two were from the Kong clan. They were also the two most outstanding young men. Eldest brother Kong Hong and fifth brother Kong Tai. The two of them looked very similar. They were brothers born from the same mother. He was the kind of man with elegant demeanor. As soon as the two of them arrived, they were attracted by the appearance of the five women. He completely ignored the Pai brothers. But Kong Hong and Kong Tai were not so impatient, they slowly walked over and said with a smile, "Young lady is really beautiful, I wonder if we could know young lady's name." Kong Hong. What do you mean? Pai Ching shouted coldly. It wasn't a matter of whether they were women or not, these two were here to lose face. Although the three brothers of House Pai didn't get along with each other, this was an internal problem. When someone came to provoke them, it was better for them to unite against the external enemy. Kong Hong didn't show any anger on his face, while Kong Tai said indifferently, "A graceful lady is a gentleman's desire. With such a beauty by the side, how could we ignore her? That would be disrespect to the young lady." Pai Pai's face darkened. Kong Tai, stop talking here, this has nothing to do with you. After saying that, he said to Qing Yutong, "Let's go in first." Qing Yutong's face showed signs of struggle, as expected of a movie queen. Kong Tai caught it very well. Pai Pai, the other lady seems to be unwilling, are you threatening them? Fifth brother, you're right, young lady, are they threatening you? Kong Hong's face gradually became cold, and a murderous aura instantly spread out. At that moment, the five women immediately hugged each other. That pitiful look made it seem as if they were being threatened by everyone. Actually, they were laughing in their hearts, as expected, looks could make them cause trouble. The three brothers of House Pai weren't cowards, the power of a Do Zun was instantly unleashed. Just like that, the atmosphere had already frozen to the extreme, and the people who were watching the show all dispersed. House Pai and House Kong were going to fight, and they were going to fight over women. Everyone, let's talk this out. An elegant man walked out from the restaurant. He didn't look very handsome, but his eyes were very strange. This was the eldest son of House Bao, Bao Pa. Bao Pa who walked out saw Qing Yutong and the others. as if he had already guessed something. It was normal for a hot-blooded young man like him to fight over a woman. Bao Po was slightly older, and his strength was slightly stronger, so the 5 men would give him some face. The 5 of them retracted their aura, and the surrounding seawater became calm again. Some people were even unable to breathe due to the pressure. Today is my sister's wedding day. I don't want to see a fight, or else don't blame me for not giving you face. Bao Po's tone was filled with warning. But right now, Qing Yutong really wanted to slap this man to death. They were clearly going to fight, but he really appeared at the right time. Brother Bao, it's not us 2 brothers being unreasonable, it's just that the 3 brothers of House Pai are bullying someone else's lady, Kong Tai said with his hands behind his back. After all, this was House Bao's wedding day. Causing trouble was indeed not giving them face. Bao Po looked at Pai Ching. Is there such a thing? Pai Ching said indifferently, 9 out of 10 of Kong Tai's words are lies, and one of them is bullshit. Pai Ching. Do you believe that I won't kill you right now? Kong Tai shouted, his right hand was already on his sword. Kong Hong pressed his brother's hand, and said indifferently, Pai Ching, I think that you 3 brothers are really itching for a beating. Humph. What, you really want to fight? Do you think that I, Pai Guanghui, will be afraid of you? Kong Hong let go of his brother's hand, his gaze gradually darkened. Since you want to fight, why don't we go to Deep Sea Arena to play after the wedding? Okay. Pai immediately agreed. Qing Yutong and the others felt that this is good. I didn't even say anything, I just made a few expressions, and these people are already going to start fighting. Bao Po was also unable to stop them, and said indifferently with a smile, everyone, come in and drink a cup of wedding wine to calm down, and ladies, enjoy the festive atmosphere. Bao Po's words were still pleasant to listen to. Qing Yutong and the others continued to follow behind Pai, but the Kong brothers also joined in. Chapter 895. They also noticed a problem. These 5 women seemed to be not familiar with the Pai brothers. That makes things easier. When a woman's appearance reached a certain level, it could indeed cause people to go crazy. It was not a groundless rumor that one would rather have a woman than a country. Qing Yutong and the others were protected like rare animals. Then they walked into a transparent crystal bubble. At the start, I thought it was something, but I didn't expect. This is an elevator, using water pressure to reach the desired floor. The old ancestor of Water Castle is definitely an alien. The group of people came to the top floor, and everyone here were influential people in Water Castle. However, the elders of Pai and Kong family did not come. The relationship between the 3 families was not as good as one would imagine. Usually, they would only let the younger generation participate. It was considered giving face. The appearance of Qing Yutong and the others also caused silence. When the influential men in Water Castle saw Qing Yutong and the others, they all revealed the same kind of gaze, and that was a kind of greed. This kind of woman can only be hidden, and cannot be seen by others. To be honest, these 5 women rarely appeared in front of the public. They were basically otakus, especially now that they appeared together. This kind of scene can only be seen during Yihua's meeting. This is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. That's right, this old man has also seen countless women. That girl is too cute. That's right, especially that ponytail. There is also that cold-eyed tall woman. These are 5 women with different personalities. My God, this is too cool. It is simply a visual impact. Everyone was discussing, and Qing Yutong accepted such gazes. It was the same when she was a celebrity in the past. On the other hand, Yizizi was very unhappy. I really want to suck these people to death. Brett was also unhappy. Kai Yun and Yuhua were still fine. Because of the protection of the Pai and Kong family's young masters, some people did not dare to act recklessly. Everyone, I won't be greeting you, do as you please. Bao Pi said faintly, then went to arrange other matters. After all, it was his little sister's wedding. Miss, sit here. Kong Tai pulled out a chair, and Brett sat down without being polite. The others also learned from Kong Tai, pulled out the chair and let the beauty sit down. 5 men, just right for 5 women. A table of 10 people. Paipa felt that he had suffered a loss, the kind of loss. He was clearly the one who discovered it, so how did things turn out like this? It shouldn't be like this. He was the hero who saved them. But now, he felt that he was going to explode from anger. The weddings in this place sure are strange. Qing Yutong said curiously. To outsiders, it was better to act a bit strange. Kong Hong chuckled and said, "This is a rule set by Water City. It is indeed very different from the outside world." "I see." Qing Yutong nodded her head. Suddenly, a person appeared. Everyone stood up and bowed their heads slightly. Even the 5 young masters were the same. "Who is he?" Yizi asked in a childish voice. Pai Ching said in a low voice, "This is the head of the Bao family, Bao Ci." Yizizi nodded her head. "So that's how it is, he is the family head. No wonder he has the strength of an overlord." He was indeed powerful. However, he was unfamiliar with this supreme being. He had never seen him in that battle back then. It seemed like he had not participated in it. "Is it very powerful?" Kai Yun asked with a childish tone. Pippi said in a low voice, "Of course he is, Supreme Zun." "Then he is truly powerful. This is the first time that I have seen a living Supreme Zun." Brett muttered. Brett wasn't lying, the Supreme Zun that he had seen in the past were basically all dead, and this Supreme Zun was indeed a living Supreme Zun. Pai Guanghui said in a low voice, "Young lady, speak softly, if you were to be heard by others, it would bring you a fatal disaster." Brett didn't speak anymore. In her heart, she scolded the bunch of cowards, "With such guts, you guys still dare to come and flirt with me." Bao Ci had the appearance of a middle-aged man, but who knows how long he had lived. His strength had already reached the level of overlord, and he could transform into whatever he wanted. He could even transform into a woman. Standing on the main stage, Bao Ci's expression was deep, then he said, "Today is the wedding of my daughter, Qi Shu Win. If everyone can drink to their heart's content, that would be giving me, Bao Ci, face." Qi Shu Win. Qing Yutong felt that this name was familiar, I seem to have heard it somewhere before. However, I couldn't remember where I heard it before. The other 4 women didn't know Qi Shu Win, and only Qing Yutong had seen him before. This Bao Ci's opening speech could be said to be very simple. With just this one sentence, he disappeared from where he was. "In any case, it is your daughter's wedding, and you are leaving just like that? This is a bit too hasty." Right now, it was Bao Po's turn to take charge of the overall situation. "Let's welcome the bride and groom into the venue." Bao Po shouted with a joyous tone. A red carpet appeared in the center of the venue, extending all the way to the door and floating in the air. A gigantic seahorse appeared not far away, and the scales on the seahorse's body emitted a bright red light, illuminating the entire underwater area. Roar! A dragon's roar suddenly rang out, and everyone could be seen clapping. No matter if they were participating in the wedding or not, it was all the same. Even the people in the city were no exception, and they all gave their blessings. Under normal circumstances, such a gigantic life form was not allowed to enter the city, but today was a special day. Therefore, the gigantic seahorse came. Behind the seahorse, there was an exquisite wedding carriage. There were all kinds of water life forms decorating the carriage, and the carriage was filled with warmth and romance. As the seahorse stopped, a man walked down from the wedding carriage. The man was wearing a red wedding robe. After the man walked down from the wedding carriage, the man stretched out his arm. A spotlessly white arm that was like a lotus root stretched out and placed onto the man's palm. This arm was naturally Qi Shuwen and Abalone. Abalone did not have any red veil on her head, and she was also wearing a wedding robe. Along with the wedding robe that Qi Shuwen was wearing, the wedding robe formed a gorgeous color, causing people to exclaim in admiration at the craftsmanship of the wedding robe. Qi Shuwen looked at his wife. The more he looked at her, the more he liked her. She has both looks and talent, she is indeed worthy of me, Qi Shuwen. Husband. Abalone called out lightly. Qi Shuwen came back to his senses and said with a slight smile, Sharky, you are too beautiful. I became absent-minded for a moment. Abalone shyly lowered her head and lightly bit onto her lips. Husband really knows how to speak. The two held hands and tightly held onto each other as they walked on the red carpet, heading towards the banquet hall on the top floor. At this moment, Qing Yutong's system suddenly sounded out. Master, a system user has appeared. Ah, who? It is this groom. He is a system user. Why do I feel that I have seen him somewhere before? Qing Yutong tried to recall in her mind, but she was unable to recall where she saw him. What kind of system is he? Qing Yutong asked curiously. Master, he is a devouring system, commonly known as the Dragon God system. Through devouring, he collects dragon qi and strengthens himself. Chapter 896. Oh, so that's how it is. It sounds like it is very powerful. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth. Seems like there is only that kind of thing, right? Poking it to death with a single finger. Of course it can't be compared to Master's system. Master's system is the most awesome existence in the system world. Qing Yutong laughed. Will you die if you don't brag about yourself? The system didn't say anything. This feeling of being pretentious was great. It could know the surrounding systems. Very soon. Qi Shuwen entered the venue while holding on to Abalone. The clapping of these 5 young masters was listless, but the others were clapping with all their might, as if they had a grudge against their palms. Didn't it hurt? Even if he wanted to curry favor, this was too exaggerated. Qi Shuwen held his head high and chest out, holding the hand of the woman beside him as if he was announcing something. However, it was also the women around him that made him who he was. If he lost the women around him, Qi Shuwen would be nothing. He would still be the person who obtained dragon energy by devouring living creatures. Qi Shuwen understood what these people were thinking. So what? So what? When I reach the ranks of supreme martial artists, even if I don't have a woman by my side, you will still have to respect me. At that time, I, Qi Shuwen, will be able to cover the sky with one hand. Just as Qi Shuwen was shouting in his heart, he was attracted by the 5 faces. The thought of covering the sky with one hand instantly disappeared. Although he didn't recognize a few of the faces, Kai Yun. Yu Hua recognized these 2 faces. He had also seen it on television back then. Although Voidless Realm didn't cause any trouble in the end, that was because Voidless Realm definitely subdued those people. That was to say, Voidless Realm has also come to Kangluo continent. How was this possible? Impossible. Why does Voidless Realm have to follow me wherever I, Qi Shuwen, go? Do you all still want face? They even chased him all the way here. What do you want me, Qi Shuwen, to do? Continue running. I've already run to the Kangluo continent, where else do you want me to go? I didn't even go to land and hid in this water city, but I was still found by you. Damn it. Husband. Seeing that her husband was in a daze, Abalone called out softly. However, following her husband's line of sight, Abaoyu saw 5 beauties, and she finally knew the reason why her husband was absent-minded. Because he saw another beauty. Abalone Fish's expression instantly turned ugly. Her own wedding. Her husband was actually staring at another woman. Where would he put his face? Suppressing the anger in her heart, Bao Yu called out in a low voice, "Husband." Qi Shuwen didn't hear Abalone, who was beside him, at all. His entire brain was buzzing, because Voidless Realm had arrived. He would be suppressed again. However, in Bayuyu's eyes, her husband was bewitched by other women, and they were 5 vixens. Bao Pa, who was presiding over the wedding, also gradually became gloomy. In fact, Bao Pa didn't agree to this wedding at first, but he couldn't resist his sister's pleading and insisted on marrying no one but him. After all, Abalone was the beloved daughter of the entire Bao family. Qi Shuwen was also a refined person, so he could be considered a good match. But now, how dare he stare at another woman in a daze during a wedding? This was rubbing the Bao family's dignity under their feet. Look at all the guests, all of them discussing in low voices, and look at his younger sister's expression. House Pai's brothers thought that this son-in-law of House Bao was someone special, but they didn't expect him to be so mediocre. In a situation like this, he left his wife aside and looked at the beauties alone. "I've seen amazing people, but I've never seen someone as amazing as you." The Kong brothers were the same. They liked beautiful women, but they also knew the situation. Moreover, you are a live-in son-in-law. If it weren't for the women around you, you wouldn't be where you are today. And you are actually staring at a woman, Sai. Are you here to be funny? Kai Yun and Yu Hua were also very puzzled. Why did this man keep staring at them? Was he sick? Suddenly, Qing Yutong slapped her thigh, startling Brett, who was at the side. Qing Yutong remembered, "I have seen this man before. Back then, when big sister and brother-in-law were still together, didn't they go to a fish restaurant to eat fish?" Tang Wei knocked over a fish tank and the arowana fell onto the ground. He was the one who saved the fish. Speaking of which, he is Tang Wei's classmate. Why is he here? Interesting. Back then, Yihua also wanted to nurture Qi Shuwen and Xanba into becoming his opponents. However, he felt that Qi Shuwen and Xanba were still not good enough, and thus, he decided not to bother with them anymore. If Yihua was here, he would be a little happy. After all, this Qi Shuwen is starting to look like a decent person. At this moment, Pai Guanghui said with a ridiculing tone, "This son-in-law of Bao family, does he not want his wife anymore?" Along with Pai Guanghui's ridicule, the Kong brothers laughed. This kind of opportunity has to be grasped. After all, it is hard to come by. Beautiful women are indeed good-looking, but as a son-in-law of Bao family, his wife is the most important. Kong Hong said faintly. Along with the words of Pai and Kong family, Bao family's face lost all face, especially Abalone. Even now, he is still staring at other people. Abalone, who was incomparably furious, immediately flung away Qi Shuwen's hand. At this moment, only then did Qi Shuwen react. "Sharky, what's wrong?" Qi Shuwen asked puzzledly, not quite understanding. "Since you like them, why did you marry me?" Abalone questioned coldly. She indeed liked Qi Shuwen, because Qi Shuwen was honest and never took a look at other women, unlike other men who would be unable to move their legs away when they see beautiful women. But only today did she know that this Qi Shuwen was actually the same as other men. After seeing a real beautiful woman, he would also be unable to move his legs away. He didn't even know what he was doing. This is a wedding. You, Qi Shuwen, don't care about face, but my Bao family still care about face. Along with Abalone's words, the entire place became quiet. This sudden situation caused everyone to be shocked. Breaking off the engagement on the day of the wedding. This was something that had never happened in Water City before. It might even become the joke of the entire Water City after dinner. "Sharky, it is not what you think, listen to my explanation." Qi Shuwen hurriedly pulled onto Abalone. He felt that Abalone's reaction was a bit too extreme. Just now, didn't she just become dazed for 10 seconds? But right now, I can only coax her, there is no other way. I'm not listening. I'm not listening. I'm not listening, Qi Shu Wen. I originally thought that this kind of situation would only happen in my original world, but I didn't expect that. Even the girls in Water City are the same, unreasonable awe. Trying to reason with a woman, are you sick? At this moment, Pai Ching said loudly, Sharky, Brother Pai had already told you in the past, look for a man. You must not look for a man like Brother Pai, who would be stupefied when he sees a beautiful woman. You just didn't listen to Brother Pai's words and looked for a man like this. Qi Shu Wen was about to go berserk, but he endured it. Sharky, I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose, can you forgive me this once? Chapter 897. When this sentence was said, the 5 young masters all laughed. Isn't this the funniest wedding in history? A man's wedding. You saw a beauty and you still don't want to admit it, do you still want face? There are so many people at the scene, everyone clearly saw what you did just now, and now, you are actually begging for forgiveness. What is this man doing? I am looking down on you. Indeed, everyone looked down on this man. So be it, a man should dare to take responsibility for what he did, and yet, he is actually begging for forgiveness in such a humble manner. Trash. Even Qing Yutong felt that this man is trash, he is simply the shame of the system world. With an incomparably powerful system, he should have risen up, and not become a gigolo. Look at Yang Haotian, for the sake of the system, he even threw away his F***king face, barging into the palace in the middle of the night and playing landlord with Dou Fusher and his wife, he is too daring. Compared to Yang Haotian is indeed much better, at least he fought for the system before. And you are here begging for forgiveness from a woman, sigh. What a trash. Bao Po was also angered to the point that he couldn't speak. Previously, I felt that Qi Shu Wen is like a man, but that sentence just now completely destroyed his image. Is this something that a man should say? He is simply not a man. Brett, Yi Zizi, and the others all revealed a look of disdain. Everyone present revealed a look of disdain. If it was possible, they really wanted to give Yi Zizi the middle finger. You, I love you, the kind of love that will never change even in death. Qi Shu Wen hurriedly explained. Why am I so unlucky? I knew that nothing good would happen when I meet them. Look, the unlucky thing happened in an instant. I didn't even say anything, and I didn't even do anything, and I was inexplicably meshed with. If this isn't unlucky, then what is it? And now, I have no choice but to beg for forgiveness. After all, it wasn't easy for me to reach where I am today. Hearing Qi Shu Wen's words, Abalone said in a low voice, all right, love until death, then show me that you are dead, I will believe you. Qi Shu Wen, I am just a description. Qi Shu Wen endured the pain in his heart and said. In the past, Abalone wasn't like this, she seemed to be very shy. Why did she suddenly seem to have changed into a different person? You really can't trust a man's words. Brother Pai is right. Abalone Fish coldly snorted. She suddenly felt that Qi Shu Wen was very disgusting and hypocritical. Only today did she see his true colors. She must have been blind to have fallen for such a man. Pai Ching immediately replied, Sharky, bro Pai won't lie to you. You have to think it through. Shut up. Qi Shu Wen turned around and bellowed. Everyone was dumbfounded by this shout. Pai Ching was the young master of House Pai. How could a son-in-law do something like this? How rude. Pai Ching didn't expect that this pretty boy dared to shout at him. He simply didn't want his life. I dare you to say that again. You're not the Bao family son-in-law now, and it's not even certain if you can become the Bao family son-in-law. Therefore, you better be careful. Of course, Pai Ching wouldn't let it go just like that. A little son-in-law dared to be naughty. Look at that Bao Pe, even he has to talk to me properly. Who do you think you are? Qi Shuwen was also intoxicated. Those sarcastic remarks and those ear-piercing laughter were all lingering in his mind. Finally, it exploded. You're the one who should be careful. I, Qi Shuwen, don't need you to care what I do. What kind of trash are you? Following Qi Shuwen's words, the entire world seemed to have frozen. What was the scariest thing? The scariest thing was that even the air froze. It was a bad feeling, as if something bad was about to happen. Pai Ching was a little startled. This pretty boy was just begging a moment ago, and suddenly he turned hostile. It was as if he had changed into a different person. The Kong brothers were a little surprised as well. This Qi Shuwen was really quick to turn hostile. He even dared to scold the young master of House Pai. Bao Yuyu didn't expect Qi Shuwen to do this. He was a little worried. After all, it wouldn't be good if things got out of hand. Bao Pe couldn't figure out Qi Shuwen. Which one was the real him? Was it the begging version, or was it the dominating version? Bang! Pai Ching slammed the table and pointed at Qi Shuwen. You motherfucker, say that again. Even the heavens can't save you today. Come on. My, Qi Shuwen's, life is not under the control of the emperor. Qi Shuwen suddenly became hard, it really made people speechless. Good. Bao Pa, how are you going to settle this matter? Pai Ching shouted angrily. I must definitely let him see why the color is so red today. Bao Pa naturally didn't wish for more problems to arise. He looked towards his little sister. You are the one who chose the man, you should just be more or less done with it. After making a fuss, if you really don't get married, where would father put his face? Bao Yuyu also knew that it was enough to teach him a lesson just now. In the future, don't be like this anymore. Therefore, Bao Yuyu prepared to continue holding on to Qi Shuwen's hand. However, Qi Shuwen angrily flung his hand away and looked at Bao Yuyu coldly, and even looked at everyone coldly. Everyone here was laughing at themselves. If there comes a day when I, Qi Shuwen, become a supreme, I will slaughter the entire water city and let everyone know that I, Qi Shuwen, am also a person with dignity. I won't allow anyone to trample on me. Seeing Qi Shuwen flinging away Qi Shuwen angrily, everyone was shocked once again. Even Qi Shuwen was shocked. Not only Qi Shuwen. Even Qing Yutong couldn't understand what was going on. Just what kind of person is this? Chapter 898. Omega 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 choking with sobs. Novel, but when he was dumped just now, he felt his heart ache. Especially when he heard these words, he seemed to have difficulty breathing. My husband, I know I was wrong. I was just jealous just now. I really didn't mean to do that. Biyuyu hurriedly walked to Qi Shuwen's side, grabbed Qi Shuwen's arm with both hands, and pleaded in a low voice. Kong Tai snorted coldly, if you have the ability, then continue to be stubborn. If you weren't the Bao family's son-in-law, I wouldn't let you leave Water City alive. Not only will you not be able to walk out of Water City, I won't even let you find a piece of your corpse. Pai Guanghui slammed the table and shouted. He was simply a daring gigolo. Who did he think he was? He couldn't even reach out to him. Who does he think he is? On the other hand, Qing Yutong was very happy to see such a situation. I didn't expect that I would encounter such a thing the moment I came over. It would be the best if a fight can break out. However, there was no need to say anything. She just had to act pitiful to gain sympathy. Look at Brett, she's already immersed in her role. She's performing really well. I'll leave the title of Best Actress to you. Even Yizizi and Kai Yun had performed well. They were truly not bad. This place is too scary, Yu Hua said softly. Her voice was not loud, but everyone heard it. Pippi hurriedly consoled her, Miss, we Water City's people are all very kind, but some people are insatiable. They think that they can do whatever they want after entering the Bao family. What a joke. Pippi's heart sank. Qi Shuwen glared at the fifth young master, looking like he would start a fight at any moment. If not for abalone dragging me, I, Qi Shuwen, would have let you see how red the color of blood is. However, could an abalone really hold Qi Shuwen back? Wasn't it because you, Qi Shuwen, were scared? Needless to say, Qi Shuwen was indeed a little terrified. He blurted out everything in the heat of the moment. But now that he had calmed down, he realized where he was. Even if he couldn't match up to them, he had to stay alive. If he really failed today, he wouldn't be able to get out of Water City. Then what was there to talk about? He reckoned that once he left this restaurant, he would be finished. Husband, calm down. They are just egging you on. Don't be fooled. Biyuyu hurriedly said. If you were to leave now, then you would be falling into their trap. Qi Shuwen finally had a way out of this embarrassing situation. He shouted, if it wasn't for Sharky's sake, I would have killed all of you. When these words were spoken, the entire place fell silent. They were all stupefied. This man really is. He was flexible. Just a moment ago, he looked like he was going to fight with his life on the line, but then he changed again. It was too fast, it was really hard for anyone to react. Qin Yutong and the others were stupefied as well. This Qi Shuwen is truly outstanding. Are the heroic words that you spoke just now all farts? I have never seen such a shameless man before. If he had the guts to fight with the fifth young master, he would still be a man even if he lost. The result was the same. It was too disappointing. Looking at the fifth young master's expression, it was as if he had been struck by lightning. It was the first time he had seen such a man. He, coward. Even Leather scolded disdainfully. And Kong Hong and Kong Tai were even more ruthless, raising their middle fingers. This caused Qin Yutong and the others to express their curiosity. Could it be that this middle finger is also passed down from your ancestors? Just how many traditions did your ancestors pass down? Abaoyu shouted out, don't instigate my husband anymore, my husband will not fall for your tricks. Sharky, you are really smart, I will not fall for their tricks, I, Qi Shuwen, am not a fool. Everyone, can't you act like a man? Where did the awe-inspiring air you had before go to? You are too fucking trash. Husband, let's not lower ourselves to their level. And, Sharky is right. Qin Yutong was almost unable to take it anymore. Just a moment ago, he was still domineeringly flinging away other people's hands, and right now, he is biting onto Sharky bit by bit, as if he is grabbing onto his last life-saving straw. I, Qin Yutong, am not convinced even when I pee on a wall, but you are the only one who is convinced. Right now, Yizizi wished that she could smash him into pieces with a single punch, he is simply shameless. Trash, I despise you. Pai Qing shouted out. However, Qi Shuwen and Bao Yu ignored him. The two of them seemed to have reconciled and walked to the front desk together. At this moment, Bao Po's mood was very complicated. He really wanted to slap this man to death. He was simply shameless. He had never seen someone so shameless before. He didn't know why his sister was bewitched. It was simply incomprehensible. As the two of them walked to the front stage, everyone quietened down. After all, it was the marriage of the eldest daughter of the Bao family. The Pai and Kong families could be arrogant, but the others didn't dare to be arrogant. If they angered the Bao family, the consequences would be terrifying. So the wedding proceeded as usual. Qing Yutong sighed in her heart, this matter ended just like this, this is too disappointing. This coward, the Bao family is going to become a joke, Pai Guanghui said in disdain. He didn't touch the dishes on the table as he had no appetite at all. What's wrong with a live-in son-in-law being a coward? Pai Qing said coldly. After all, he wasn't from the Bao family. However, right now, Qing Yutong was scheming something in her heart. Oh, that's right, what is that deep sea arena that you all were talking about? Qing Yutong asked with a curious tone. Along with Qing Yutong's words, they seemed to have recalled something. Originally, they were going to the deep sea arena to fight. Originally, it was fine if they didn't say it, everyone would just treat it as if they didn't say it, but now, since they had already mentioned the deep sea arena, how could they still treat it as if they didn't hear it? Could it be that I have to learn from that Qi Shuwen? Isn't that the same as slapping my own face? So Pai Guanghui said indifferently, we will go after we finish eating, whoever doesn't go is a coward. I will accompany you to the end. Kong Tai said gravely. Right now, it was too embarrassing to say no. After all, there was Qi Shuwen as an example. Right now, Qing Yutong was at ease. Ladies, eat the dishes, don't worry, no one will be able to bully you all. Pai Qing said lightly, taking care of the 5 beauties. Qing Yutong was thinking, only you all are bullying yourselves, that's all. However, I still have to taste the food in this water city. All of them are seafood, and there are a lot of varieties. This Bao family is truly rich. Yu Hua suddenly asked, why is this deep sea arena called deep sea arena? Kong Hong was more fond of Yu Hua and said with a smile, deep sea arena, as the name implies, it is located in the deepest part of the ocean. The surroundings of the arena is filled with magma, and if you touch it, you will die. Thus, it is quite dangerous. Yu Hua's face was filled with fear as she hurriedly said, then, don't go to such a dangerous place, if there is anything, let's sit down and talk about it. Yu Hua's words made them feel even more that whoever doesn't go would be a coward. Although they didn't really want to go, that place was indeed a little dangerous, and there was also the strange magma, even a Dozun would be afraid of it. Thus, it was very dangerous. What is there to talk about? If you don't agree, then fight. Baidu search 881 Chinese net yen. Yen. Chapter 899. Following Pai Guanghui's words, the smell of gunpowder was enough, there will be a good show to watch later on. After that, nothing happened, the husband and wife duo started toasting each other, but they did not come to this table, instead, they let Bao Pa come over to toast. Qing Yutong did not mind, but the 5th young master was very unhappy, this is not giving me face at all. Are you guys really going to the deep sea arena later on? Bao Pa asked curiously. Of course, the words of a man carry weight. Kong Tai said faintly, isn't it just the deep sea arena, what is there to be afraid of? Bao Pa laughed lightly, this deep sea arena has not been opened for a long time, it will be lively later on. Hearing this sentence, the 5th young master became silent. But since it has already come to this, I have no choice but to go. Bao Pa turned around and shouted, everyone, the Pai and Kong family's young masters are going to fight in the deep sea arena later on, come and support them. Hearing Bao Pa's words, everyone started cheering, this is simply too awesome. Both sides of the fight are the young masters of the Pai and Kong family, there will be a good show to watch. Originally, the 5th young master wanted to carry out the fight in secret, but Bao Pa's words directly exposed him. Not feeling good, very not feeling good, brother Bao, how about we play together? Pai Qing said with a smile. Since you are not giving me face, then don't blame me. Bao Pa appeared very calm, if I come, then I will be bullying the weak. Just ask if you dare or not, don't be so long-winded. Kong Hong shouted coldly. Since you guys request like this, then I will accompany you guys to play. Don't cry when the time comes. Who will cry and who will laugh is yet to be determined. When Qing Yutong heard that these people had already started to have internal strife, she was very happy in her heart. I am really looking forward to it. Would they fight to the death? Now that they were fighting, they couldn't care so much anymore. Then why are we still eating? Let's go. Pai Guanghui slammed the table. We are already going to the deep sea arena. I don't have the mood to eat anymore. Alright, let's go. Kong Hong said faintly. I will accompany you guys to play then. Bao Po laughed lightly. Qing Yutong and the others were already impatient. They continued to sit on the carriage outside and followed these people to the deep sea arena. When everyone knew that they were going to the deep sea arena, they stopped eating and quickly followed them. After all, it was a rare opportunity to go to the deep sea arena. Without deep hatred, who would go there to fight? If they were not careful, they would die. However, young Master 6 seemed to be discussing something. You guys are fighting because of the woman in the car, right? Bao Pe said lightly. The five of them remained silent. Bao Pe said again, since it's for a woman, then you have to get it. Otherwise, wouldn't this fight be a loss? What does 5 women have to do with you? Pai couldn't help but say. I'm just saying. If we fight today and something happens, and the beauty leaves, wouldn't that be a loss? Haven't you guys thought about it? Bao Pe said indifferently. His meaning was clear. You guys are fighting for a woman. What if the other party didn't appreciate it? Wouldn't that be a waste of effort? Hearing what Bao Pe said, the 5th young master felt that what Bao Pe said made a bit of sense. How about we split it? Pai Ching said with a smirk. That's a good idea. Pai Guanghui raised both his hands in approval. Kong Hong laughed and said, split. Sorry, us 2 brothers are preparing to split it, so the one who wins has the right to split it. Pai didn't speak at this moment. If we really split it, I should be able to get 2 right. In any case, I was the one who brought them here. Sure. Pai Ching didn't oppose. Then, I want to get 2. Pai said gravely. He had already thought of who he wanted, that sexy one, and that twin-tails one big and one small. It was just perfect. Pai Ching laughed and said, 3rd brother, your appetite is not small, you want 2, sure. Who asked you to be the one who found the beauty? You guys are talking too early, there's still me, I might even be able to carry 5 back. Bao Po laughed out loud. Why did he have to come up with such an idea? Of course, I want the beauty too. After all, this kind of beauty is too rare, and taking the risk for it is worth it. The 5 of them had a look of disdain on their faces. I thought that Bao Pe is a gentleman, but I didn't expect that he is this kind of man, truly trash. At this moment, Bao Pe waved his hand, and quite a few imperial guards could be seen surrounding the carriage, preventing the spoils of war from escaping. However, within the carriage, Qing Yutong laughed and said in a low voice, their faces have been revealed. Hee, men. Brett sneered. Other than his honor and Zhu Tian, there isn't anything good about men. Yi Zizi stroked her own hair and said with a slight smile, kill them all later on, it has been a long time since I sucked people. Kill them all, Kai Yun said happily. A mist of blood had already appeared in front of him. The scene that is about to happen will definitely be very exciting. Yu Hua didn't say anything. Killing them all is good. Qing Yutong said lightly, kill, of course we have to kill them, the problem is, how do we kill them for it to be interesting? Everyone nodded their heads. Killing people is easy, the important thing is, how do we kill them to make them feel good? There was a group of people following behind the carriage, and there were at least several tens of thousands of people. All of them were riding on living creatures and following behind the carriage. Even Qi Shuwen and Bao Yu, who had just gotten married, were the same. Qi Shuwen knew about Kai Yun and Yu Hua, and he sneered in his heart. You bunch of trash, you still don't know after falling into my trap, you bunch of idiots. Husband, do I look good, or do they look good? Bao Yu, who was sitting in Yi Hua's embrace, suddenly said. Do you still want to compete? No matter who you compete with, you will still look good. To Qi Shuwen, this was a free-point question. After hearing what Yi Hua said, Bao Yu was also very happy. The Bao Yu who was angry just now seemed to be fake. After a long time, everyone finally arrived at Deep Sea Arena. This was a strange place. On the horizon of the seabed, there was a huge crater, and it looked as if it was smashed down by a meteorite. At the center of the crater, there was a platform that was surrounded by red magma, and at the top of the platform, there were spectator seats. Qin Yutong and the others got off the carriage. The surrounding people seemed to be protecting them, but in actuality, they were monitoring them so that they wouldn't let anyone escape. Hero, why are there so many guards? Brett asked curiously. Pippi squeezed out a smile and said with a bit of guilt, that is to protect you all, don't be afraid, no one will be able to bully you all here. However, right now, they were already being bullied. Pippi truly felt uncomfortable in his heart. Brett replied with an "oh," as if he really believed what Pippi said. This caused Pippi to not dare to make eye contact with them. I saved them, but in the end, I brought them into an even deeper tiger's den. However, there is no other way, for women like these, even if I have to use some methods, it would be worth it. As the people entered the arena, the surrounding seats were all filled up. However, Qin Yutong and the others were still standing. There were guards all around them, and they were not allowed to move even a single step. Chapter 900. This was no different from guarding a prisoner. Everyone noticed this phenomenon. This shouldn't be considered a duel. This was just dividing up the prey. The ownership of these 5 women had been decided. The young masters of the 3 great families of Watertown didn't think they were frivolous. This was because such a woman could only be assigned according to her strength. There was nothing else to say. This was also a normal performance. If it were him, it would be the same. When Qi Shuwen saw the 5 women, he didn't show an expression of schadenfreude. Instead, he looked at the 6 young masters with schadenfreude. I'm afraid you don't know this, but you can't afford to offend these 5 women. Back on Earth, who would have dared to touch it? Even if they were in a different place, just look at them. They were not afraid at all. He looked like he was trying to stir up trouble. You've all been fooled. But I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to watch you guys die. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I feel like I've reached the peak of my life. Qi Shuwen was so happy that he immediately hugged Bao Yu and kissed her, causing her to be extremely shy. After all, the girls in Water City were very reserved. Kissing in such an occasion was still very embarrassing. There were too many people. The entire deep sea arena was filled to the brim with cheers. They were cheering for the distribution of beauties and cheering for the 6 young masters. Sigh, what a sin. Yi Zizi sighed softly. Kai Yun propped up his chin and muttered, yes, it really is a sin. Sigh, this is too sinful. Qin Yutong said. Those who commit sins will never know their sins, Brett said indifferently. Yu Hua smiled and said, let's observe a moment of silence for the sinners. The surrounding guards were confused. How could it be them who committed the sin? The ones who committed the sin were them. You're just dividing it like a prize. The 6 young masters stood in the middle, but they didn't fall. They seemed to be discussing how to compete. But just as the 6 people were discussing, a dragon roar suddenly sounded. This caused the 6 young masters to go into a daze for a moment, and they looked towards one direction. Roar. The dragon's roar rang out again, and a huge pressure caused the seawater to boil. This was the pressure that came from a supreme being. The Kong family's patriarch has arrived. Yeah, only Kong Fei Ching of the Kong family has such amount. It's been a long time since I saw the Kong family's patriarch riding a dragon. Don't tell me he's trying to steal my son's woman. Haha, that's possible. A green divine dragon appeared in the dark seawater. The green light was very obvious. Of course, there was also the figure on the dragon's back. Very quickly, the green divine dragon circled above the deep sea arena. Everyone stood up and greeted respectfully, Patriarch Kong. Father. Kong Hong and Kong Tai also greeted respectfully. Kong Feiqing was an ordinary middle-aged man, but underneath this ordinariness was a genuine supreme martial artist. Someone who could stand on the same level as Broken Meridian Sect and Deity Institution. If not for the green divine dragon beneath him, no one would know that he was a supreme martial artist. However, right at this moment, another strange sound rang out. Kong Feiqing focused his gaze and looked into the darkness. Very quickly, a white figure appeared. It was a horse. That's right, it was a white horse, but it wasn't an ordinary warhorse. It was a prairie warhorse, a prehistoric divine beast. The white flame on the horse's hooves was the best proof. Although the white flame was not as powerful as mystical fire, it was still very ferocious. Just a little bit of it would be fatal. However, it was a 2-headed horse. There was a sword-like thing growing out from the middle of the horse's brows. It was emitting traces of electricity. As expected of a prehistoric divine beast. Every part of its body was a treasure. Even the Pai family's patriarch, Pai Liangjun, is here. He also brought out his mount. What are they planning to do? Don't you understand? They are planning to use their flashy mount to seduce those 5 women. That makes sense. I've never seen them take it out before. They hide it like a treasure. Following Pai Liangjun's arrival, everyone stood up and greeted, Patriarch Pai. Father. The 3 brothers of Pai family also greeted respectfully. They realized that their father's dressing today was a bit handsome. Could it be that he came to steal their son's wife? Pai Liangjun was indeed a bit handsome today. As for why he came, no one knew. However, just when everyone was guessing whether Bao family's patriarch Bao Ci would come or not, a loud roar could be heard. Even the dragon and the prairie warhorse seemed very irritable. It was as if they were going to go over and fight. A black shadow appeared in the deep sea, and on the back of the black shadow was a person. There was no light at all, but it was precisely because of this that the black shadow gave off a very oppressive feeling, mysterious with a hint of terror. Gradually, the black shadow appeared in everyone's eyes. A horrifying giant crocodile. Everyone cried out in shock. Their bodies were trembling. If the dragon and the prairie warhorse looked very tall, then the horrifying giant crocodile looked very ferocious. Its huge body was at least 100 feet long. Although its mouth was closed, its fangs were exposed. Every single one of its fangs could be seen. Every single one of its fangs could probably be made into a prehistoric godly item. That's right, this horrifying giant crocodile was the legendary prehistoric beast. Even Supremes didn't dare to provoke it. It should be said that the 2 prehistoric divine beasts and 1 prehistoric beast were all the same. But such an animal was actually tamed, and it was only by a single Supremes. This caused Qing Yutong and the others to be very puzzled. Prehistoric divine beasts and prehistoric beasts were rather ferocious and prideful. It was impossible for ordinary people to tame them. Then, there was only one possibility. These three prehistoric divine beasts were left behind by their ancestors, generation after generation. Qing Yutong's guess wasn't wrong. With the strength of only supremes, it was definitely impossible for them to tame the three prehistoric divine beasts. These three prehistoric divine beasts all had their own inheritances, and when the time comes, they could still be passed down to the next family. When Yizizi saw these three prehistoric divine beasts, she became a bit restless and even swallowed her saliva. Even Kai Yun was the same. After all, the two of them mainly devoured each other. When they saw these three prehistoric divine beasts, it was as if they saw a spicy chicken drumstick. Three supremes. The three prehistoric divine beasts floated in the sky, and everyone felt pressured. However, everyone was curious. Why did they suddenly appear? Could it be that they really did that with our son? Roar! A dragon roar immediately rang out. This was the roar that the green dragon let out towards the horrifying giant crocodile. The horrifying giant crocodile didn't cower and let out an even more ferocious roar. When that huge mouth of the crocodile opened up, it seemed as if it was going to swallow the entire sky. However, the prairie warhorse was attracted by a person. Chapter 901. She had a pair of red eyes, a horrifying smile, and that little tongue that was licking the corner of her mouth, as if she was very hungry. As if she really wanted to eat me up. Where did this little girl come from, to dare to be arrogant in front of me, prairie fire warhorse? Let me roar once, I will let you all feel what is called the might of a primordial divine beast. Roar roar. Prairie fire warhorse also let out a terrifying roar. The dragon and the terrifying giant crocodile seemed to have gotten a shock. Are you fucking sick? Why did you roar without even greeting me? After roaring, Prairie Fire Warhorse felt very satisfied. Afterward, it looked towards Yizizi, as if it was saying, if you look at me again, I will drink you up. Yizizi could be seen sticking out her little tongue, then quickly changed into her original form. This kind of change was very fast, even Supremes were not able to see it, only Prairie Fire Warhorse was able to see it. Speaking of which, what is Yizizi's original form? I don't think I have seen it before. In the past, when I fought with Yihua, I didn't even reveal my original form. Yihua also seemed to not want Yizizi to reveal her original form, as if Yizizi revealing her original form was very troublesome. From this, it could be seen how abnormal Yizizi's original form was. Prairie Fire Warhorse that saw Yizizi was a bit stupefied. What did I see just now? Is that a ghost? How is this possible? My Prairie Fire Warhorse is actually scared. Just what is that thing? It carries a bloody smell, it wants to eat me up. Prairie Fire Warhorse could be seen gradually retreating, and its gaze was a bit fearful. Pai Liangjun felt the warhorse's intention and was very confused. Why did it get scared? Wasn't it very ferocious just now, roaring crazily? The dragon and the terrifying giant crocodile looked towards Prairie Fire Warhorse and were also confused, as if they were asking, is there a hole in your brain? Why are you retreating? Did you see a ghost? If Prairie Fire Warhorse could speak, it would definitely shout out, I saw a ghost just now, and it was a big red ghost. Pai Liangjun hurriedly comforted Prairie Fire Warhorse, but no matter how he comforted it, Prairie Fire Warhorse was still very scared. In Kong Feiqing and Bao Xi's eyes, Prairie Fire Warhorse was scared silly by its own mount. Of House Pai, your warhorse seems to be a bit scared. Kong Feiqing gently stroked his dragon whiskers and smiled. Look at my divine dragon. Does the gaze of a king make you very afraid? Are you trembling? Bao Xi stood on the crocodile's head and laughed. House Leader Pai, did you forget to feed it? At this moment, Pai Liangjun felt like he had lost all face. His prairie blazing warhorse was fine just now. Why did it suddenly become like this? Pai Liangjun pressed his hands on the two horses' heads, and his palms emitted a faint glow. Only then did the prairie fire warhorse calm down a bit, and it wasn't that afraid anymore. However, the two pairs of eyes still didn't dare to look at those 5 women. Seeing that the prairie flame warhorse had actually stabilized, Bao Xi and Kong Feiqing were slightly disappointed because they did not see Pai Liangjun make a fool of himself. But that was about it. Looks like we're in trouble today, Bao Xi said, looking at his son and the other 5. It is indeed a little troublesome. Kong Feiqing also looked at his 2 sons. Why did they come here for no reason? What a troublesome fellow. If there's really no other way, ask them to leave first. Pai Liangjun rode over slowly on his prairie fire warhorse. Bao Xi said in a low voice, if we tell them to leave now, they'll think we're doing something here. Ask them to hurry up and finish the fight, then scram. That's the only way. Kong Feiqing said in a low voice, and his gaze looked towards the lava, seemingly carrying some sort of excitement. The 6 young masters who were standing not far away from the lava all felt a bit unnatural. Just what is the reason for all of our fathers to come here? I have no idea at all, and all of them came out on their mounts. Just what is the reason for all of us to come here? Are they here to stop us? But looking at their actions, it doesn't seem like it. Right at this moment, Bao Xi shouted out, Bao Pe, since you all have decided to have a proper fight, then hurry up. What are you all standing there for? Bao Xi thought that his father was going to stop them, and didn't expect that it would be like this. Father. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth, seems like he isn't simple. That's right, there's something even more delicious. Yi Zizi pursed her small lips. True, there's a good show to watch, Kai Yun clapped his hands and said, giving off a feeling as if he didn't know anything, the naive and romantic type. Brett let out a light sigh. I really want this farce to end quickly so that I can bring Zhu Tian back and have fun. Every time I bring Zhu Tian to take a bath, Zhu Tian would reveal a look of despair. This is simply too interesting. I didn't expect that Zhu Tian would have such a cute side to him. Yu Hua is still fine, Lai Gu is at home, and there are still the other 3 looking after her. Nothing will happen. In the arena, the winner of the first match had already been decided. That was Bao Pe versus Pai Pai. When the winner of the match was decided, the entire arena cheered. At this moment, Bao Xi smiled and said, Clan head Pai, I wonder if your 3rd brother will be able to fight against my son. Bao Xi clearly had the intention of teasing Bao Pe. Bao Pe's strength had reached rank 8 Dozun, while the other 5 were only rank 2 or 3. Their strength was still considered close, but compared to Bao Pe, they were still lacking. Furthermore, Pai Pai was only a rank 2 Dozun. How could he be a match for a rank 8 Dozun? Hee, clan head Bao, why don't you ask your son-in-law to come out and fight? I heard that your son-in-law made a fool out of himself. Pai Liangjun also knew how to say a few words of mockery. In the past, your Bao family didn't have anything to use against you, but now, you have. You got the worst son-in-law in history. I really don't know what you were thinking. Bao Xi didn't know what to say for a moment. This son-in-law is like a thorn in my heart. It doesn't hurt if it's on my chest, but my face hurts. But Yu likes it, what can you say? Even if you don't like it, you have to accept it. After all, I love my daughter dearly. Seeing that Bao Xi didn't say anything, Pai Liangjun felt that he had finally turned the tables. Kong Feiqing didn't say anything at the side, but he was thinking about what to do next. The alliance was only temporary. When the time comes, if they were to fall out, it would be faster than anyone else. Originally, I thought that today was a good day, and I thought that the wedding would attract people's attention. Who knew that they actually came here? The 3 of them directly looked at the culprit. The first sentence that appeared in their mind was, Femme fatale. If it wasn't because my son saw it first, I would also have the heart to go down and compete. After all, this kind of woman is indeed interesting. The older one is sexy and mature, while the younger one has an even more different kind of flavor, as if it is very pleasurable. As long as I grab the ponytail, I can go crazy. Interesting enough. The three of them are really terrible old men, they are really bad. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth. They are really shameless, staring at me fiercely. Even your son isn't so unrestrained. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.